Hello students, welcome to our online teaching class of Balangir Public Schools. Today we will discuss economics of class 10th, chapter 2. In the chapter 2, that is the name of the chapter is Sectors of the Indian Economy. In the part 1, we have already discussed everything, sectors of Indian economy, different sectors, primary sectors, secondary sectors, and tertiary sectors, and how the three sectors, primary, secondary, and tertiary sector, are interdependent. We have already discussed it. In the previous class also we have discussed how to compare the three sectors also, and what is the GDP, all these things we have already discussed. Again, I would like to remind you, GDP, the value of final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year, provides the total production of the sector for that year. And if we sum up the production in three sectors, then we will get the GDP or gross domestic product. It is gross domestic or GDP is the value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a particular year, and GDP shows how big a country is or how big an economy is. Okay, so now we will discuss in the part 2 historical change in sectors. Historical changes in sector, that is here. Generally, it has been noted from the history of many now developed countries that at initial stages of development, primary sector was the most important sector of economic activity. Historical change in sector. What is the history or how the different sectors have been changed in course of time? That is the primary, secondary, and tertiary sector. Which sector had great significance or more? Which sector was more important? Which sector was less important? That we will come to know from the history. So, here primary sector was the most important sector of economic activity. At first, at the initial stage, primary sector was the most important sector of all the three sectors in the economic activity. Okay, so here as the methods of farming changed, but gradually as the methods of, at first the people were practicing traditional method of cultivation, whereas the output was very less. Gradually people started, when the Green Revolution was implemented, the people started to practice the modern method of cultivation or mechanized cultivation. So many people could now take up the other activities also. When agricultural output became more and more, many people could now take up other activities. There were increasing number of craft persons and traders also buying. When agricultural output increased to a large extent, automatically the demand of other sectors, that is secondary and tertiary sector, also increased. There were increasing number of craft persons and traders. Buying and selling activities increased many times. Besides, there was also transporters. When that means when agricultural output increased to a large extent, it also needed to transport the output, transport the product from agricultural output product from from the producing unit to the manufacturing unit for its processing. Again, so it needs there were also transporters, it needed to increase the transporters, administrators, and army, all these things. Okay, however, at this stage, most of the goods produced were natural products. At this stage, at the initial stage, most of the goods produced were natural products from the primary sector, and most people were also employed in this. Maximum people were employed in the primary sector. This is what I am telling you. It is in the initial stage of Indian economic activity. Thereafter, what happened over a long period of time, more than 100 years, and especially because new methods of manufacturing were introduced also, where in place of traditional method of agriculture, people adopted modern method of agriculture in order to increase the output and it also helped to increase the output to a large extent. On the that means in the industrial sector also different due to the modern invention of different machinery and sophisticated machinery, the production process also becomes speedier. Within a very short period of time, it became possible to produce more and more. So here also, especially because of new methods of manufacturing, so the different manufacturing industry or different industries could also process different goods or started expanding. Those people who had earlier worked on farms, when the base of manufacturing industries increased, so those were the people who were working in farming sectors, they gradually shifted from farming to manufacturing or industrial sector for job or in order to be engaged. People began to use many more goods that were produced in factories. Then people began to use the mill-made products which was available at cheap price. Secondary sector gradually became, so in the course of time, secondary sector thereafter became the secondary sector thereafter became the most important in the total production and employment. Matlab, in the field of production also and in the field of employment generation, secondary sector played important role. Hence, over time, a shift had taken place. This means that the importance of the sector had changed. That means we have already discussed agriculture. At first, there was great importance in the initial stage. There was the primary sector, the importance of primary sector. But when the output increased to a large extent, gradually the importance of secondary sector increased more than that of the primary sector. In the past 100 years, there has been a further shift from secondary again, it is shifted from primary to secondary, again from secondary to tertiary sector. In the past 100 years, there has been further shift from secondary to tertiary sector in developed countries. In developed countries, the base of tertiary sector increased to a large extent. The service sector, this sector is also otherwise known as service sector. So the service sector has become the most important in terms of total production. Most of the working people are also employed in most of the working people, though they are also engaged in service sector. This is the generation, this is the general pattern observed in developed country. So the base of service, the volume of service sector increased to a large extent, especially in the developed countries. What is the total production and employment in the three sectors in India? Then we will come to know what is the total production. What is the total production and total employment in three sectors, that is primary, secondary and tertiary sector in India. We will come to know gradually. Okay, so we shall see. So let us see primary, secondary and tertiary sectors in India. Primary, secondary and tertiary sectors in India. Here in this page of your topic, we will come to know how much output, what is the contribution of primary, secondary and tertiary sector in the field of production, and how much it was contributing to GDP, how much it contributes to the GDP of the country, how much the people are being employed in the primary, secondary and tertiary sector. We will come to know one by one. There is a comparison. So here is the graph 1, GDP by primary, secondary and tertiary sector gradually given. So there is the comparison between first period there है 1973 and 1974, 1973 and 1974. At that time, there was the more importance of primary sector, thereafter the tertiary sector, and at last the secondary sector. But in course of time, that is in the 2013, it was 1973, 74, and it has been compared to 2013 and 14. Okay, so here there is over the 40 years between 1973 and 74 and 2013 and 14, there is, while production in all the three sectors has been increased, no doubt. In every sector, primary, secondary and tertiary sector, the production has been increased. But in 2013 and 14, the tertiary sector has increased or has emerged as the largest producing sector in India. First, the tertiary sector, thereafter secondary sector, and at last primary sector has improved. Okay, so in this way, as a result, in the year 2013-14, the tertiary sector has emerged as the largest producing sector in India, replacing the primary sector, and in the second position, the secondary sector, and in the last position, the primary sectors. So here is a question for us: why is it the tertiary? No doubt. So in this way, we came to know that tertiary sector played a very important role in the economy of our country, and it provided a lot to the or it contributed more to the GDP of our country. Why? What is the reason behind it? So first, here we'll come to know why is the tertiary sector becoming so important in India. Why is tertiary sector is becoming so important in India? There are so many reasons behind it. First of all, in any country, several services such as in any country, service. We are discussing about service sector. What is the important? What is its importance? What is its significance? First, in any countries, several services such as hospitals, educational institutions, post and telegraph services, police stations, court, village administrative offices, municipal corporations, defense, transport, banks, insurance companies, all these are required for the good of the people. Okay, so these can be considered basic services of the people. These are urgently necessary for the smooth livelihood, for the smooth lifestyle of the human beings. So these are the basic services. In a developing country, the government has to take responsibility. In a developing country like India, the government has to take a lot of responsibility for the provision of these basic services which the people demand for their own benefit. First reason for the growth of the basic amenities of life or basic services. Secondly, the development of agriculture. First point. So what is the demand behind this? First point, basic services that I told you. Second reason behind the great significance of tertiary sector is the development of agriculture and industry. The development, for example, due to the implementation of the green revolution or the practice of modern method of cultivation, agricultural output increased to a large extent. As such, or accordingly, exactly in the field of the manufacturing sector also it increased to a large extent. So when the volume of primary and secondary sector increased to a large extent, automatically it needed for different services to carry the output from the producing sector to the consuming sector or to the manufacturing sector, which needs a lot of transportation facility or banking services or other developmental services such as transport, trade, storage, and all these things which are okay. So greater the development of the primary, there is a direct relationship between the development of the primary and secondary sector and tertiary sector. So greater the development of the primary and secondary sectors, more would be the demand for such services. They will automatically demand for the transportation facilities, banking services, insurance facilities, everything. Okay. Second reason, third reason thereafter, as income level. So when the income of the people increased, then the people's demand also increased accordingly. Okay, certain sectors of people started demanding many more services. Like, for example, there is a person, there is a family, and the family is poor family. Okay, they are maintaining a very poor livelihood. So after some years, one of the members of the family or the eldest son of the family got a job and earned a great salary, a very handsome salary, that is 80,000 per month. What would happen then? So when the income of the family increase, automatically their desires and aspirations also increase accordingly. They will want to dine outside. They will go to restaurant. They will go for shopping in the mall. They will go for visiting different places. And in case of educational facility, they will want to their children to learn in private high schools, colleges. They will want to take treatment in case of their when they fall in any diseases. They will demand. They will want to go for treatment in the private hospitals, not in the government hospital. So as such, the different services automatically will increase due to the increase in income. When income increases, the different services also automatically increases. Fourth, over the past decade or so, certain new services such as those based on information and communication technology, but in course of during the last 10 years or 20 years, due to those such different new services which were based on information and communication technology have also become important and essential. The production of these services, this communication technology, information technology have become very essential and important. The production of these services has been rising rapidly nowadays. Another thing, so in this, there are 4 points regarding the significance of the tertiary sectors, especially in developing country like our country, that is in India. All these are 4 reasons. We will come to know. It is very, very important questions you will get. Why is the tertiary sector becoming so important in India? You will write all these 4 reasons. Next, come to the point. Where are the most of the people employed? Where are the most of the people employed? That means in which sectors which sectors provides how much employment to the people will come to know. Okay, whether primary sector, secondary sector or tertiary sector. Here is graph 2. You are looking here. Graph 2 represents percentage share of the 3 sectors in GDP. Percentage share in 3 sectors in GDP. Now you can directly see the changing importance of the sectors over the 40 years. Graph 2 share of sectors in GDP percentage. Again, it has been compared in between 1973 to 1974. At that time, how much share of sectors in GDP, and again it is in 2013-14. Okay, so GDP in percentage. So in 1973-74, the primary sector has contributed just near about 40% to the GDP, and secondary sector just 10% or 10 to 12%, and a tertiary sector 48% nearly has contributed to the GDP of our country in 1973 and 74. But in 2013 and 14, this has been totally changed. In place of this, the production from primary sector has just 10 to 12%, and manufacturing sector has contributed to GDP just how much it is? Just 21 or 22%, and the rest मतलब 65 nearly 68 or yes 67-68% is contributed by 68% nearly contributed by tertiary sector. All these things have been given. You will come to know. Then again come to the point, the employment opportunity that I have told you. Employment opportunity. This is contribution of different sector to the GDP. And now which sector has contributed how much to the employment? Let's see. Graph 3, share of sectors in employment in percentage. Again, it has been compared. One thing there is in 1977 to 1978 within this period, and again it is in 2017 to 2018. Okay, so here share of sectors in employment, the primary sector which contributes very least to the GDP of the country, but it provides employment opportunities, that is 71%. 71% primary sector. Secondary sector, whereas it is just 40%, 44% in 2017 and 18. Secondary sector, in secondary sector, this in secondary sector in 1977 and 78, secondary sector has provided employment opportunity to just 11%, whereas it was in 2017-18 just 25%. And tertiary sector, which has provided employment opportunities to just 18% in 1977 and 78, whereas in 2017-18 it is just 31%. In this way, the employment opportunity was provided by the different sector, primary, secondary and tertiary sector. You recollect that larger number of people, that is the 71% have been engaged in primary sector, especially in agriculture. But it is a smaller shift. So all these things. So whereas the most in the next sectors of the next. So why didn't similar shift out of primary sector happen in case of employment? It is because not enough jobs were created in the secondary and tertiary sector. As there was scarcity of employment opportunity in secondary and tertiary sector, and people mostly were engaged in primary sector, that is in agriculture. In the next class, we will discuss the rest one. Thank you.